Hello, welcome to Preschool Parade Fun on the Farm. I'm Miss Sylvia. I'm a children's instructor at the Miller branch of the Howard County Library System.
Hi friends, what a great fall day for the farm. I'm Miss Heidi and I'm also at the Miller branch of the Howard County Library System, and we're so happy you're with us today to visit the farm with us.
Yes.
First thing we're going to do is look at a poem of 5 friendly farmers. Farmers are the ones who get everything done on the farm. The sun. 5 friendly farmers. They wake up with the sun. It's early morning and chores must be done. The first friendly farmer goes to milk the cow. The second friendly farmer decides he needs to plow. Look at that. The third friendly farmer feeds the hungry hens. The fourth friendly farmer puts the piggies in their pens. And the fifth friendly farmer picks the ripe corn and waves to the neighbors when he blows his horn. Hi, farmers. Let's all count those 5 friendly farmers one more time. Are you ready? You ready, Miss Sylvia?
I'm ready.
1 farmer. 2, whoops, ow. 3, 4, and 5 friendly farmers. There they are. And always take time to thank your farmers because they bring so much food that goes sent to the stores for you to eat.
Yes, they work very hard, yes. So a book that you could check out that talks about a farmer and some animals on the farm is this story, Farmyard Beat by Lindsay Craig. And in this story, the animals can't sleep and Farmer Sue has to come help, and we find out what happens. So that is Farmyard Beat by Lindsay Craig, and you will see some of the animals that Miss Heidi mentioned in 5 Friendly Farmers.
I love that, Miss Sylvia. Barnyard Beat sounds like a lot of fun, too.
Yes.
Well, boys and girls, one of the animals on the farm that we haven't talked about yet sometimes is a friendly farm and barnyard dog. And here is our friendly dog here today. Whoops, there goes his head.
Oh no.
But I think you might recognize this, a friendly dog. And his name is Bingo.
Bingo! Yay!
The letters together already. Ready?
B-I-N-G-O.
Bingo! And I think all of you know a song called Bingo, right, Miss Sylvia?
That's right.
All the letters together first. Are you ready? I think you start this, Miss Sylvia.
Alrighty. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh.
Okay, we take the B away, boys and girls. Do you remember what to do? That part of the song, we just clap one time instead of singing that letter.
Yes.
Here we go. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, clap, clap, I-N-G-O, clap, I-N-G-O, clap, I-N-G-O, and Bingo was his name. Oh, one more letter on.
So now there's another letter. We have to clap 2 times this time. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, all right.
Good job. One more letter gone, boys and girls. Miss Sylvia, I think it's good if you keep singing and clapping together, and I'll do the letters.
Okay. All righty.
Clap 3 times this time.
Yep. There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, G-O, Geo and Bingo was his name. Oh.
Oh, now we're down to just one letter, the letter O. We're going to clap 4 times. Here we go.
There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh. 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 Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh.
Oh, no
Last
more letters,
time.
boys and girls. Now we just clap. Here we go.
There was a farmer, had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh. And Bingo was his name. Oh.
Good job, boys and girls. Let's look at those letters one more time if Miss Heidi can find them. Ready?
B, I, N, G, O.
How's Bingo?
Bingo!
Good job. You named one of the animals that we find on a farm. And we're going to talk about some other animals that you find on a farm and the sounds they make. Talking about farm animals, Miss Sylvia, and the dogs on the farm. What sound does a dog make?
Woof, woof.
Good job. And another book that talks about some farm animals and their sounds is Noisy Farm, my first sound book by Mary and Billy. What is this on the cover, Miss Sylvia?
It's a cow.
A cow. And what sound does a cow make?
Moo.
Moo. And boys and girls, you can't hear it on here, but every page has a little button that you can push that will make the sound of that animal. So let's talk about some other animal sounds. How about
A horse.
a horse? What sound does a horse make, everyone?
Yay!
Good job. Do you have one, Miss Sylvia?
I do. How about this animal?
Oh, a pig.
A pig. Pig says, oink,
Oink, oink, oink, oink, oink.
oink.
I love that, Miss Sylvia. What about a sheep? What does a sheep make?
Bah.
Ah.
Here's my picture of a sheep.
Oh, there's a sheep. For boys and girls, you can think of a lot of different farm animals that you can make sounds for. And we have an idea of what to do with some of those animals that you might.
That's right. So I have my pictures of the different animals that we went over, and here's a cow too. So you can draw pictures of the different animals and practice making their sounds. And then what you can do is I have a brown bag here, and I put a barn on the front, and we're going to sing Old Macdonald Had a Farm soon. And what you do is you have all your animals, and you put them inside the bag. So when you're singing, you can take one out and make that animal sound. So that's what we're going to do very soon.
I love that.
Yes.
Great idea. And you have another idea book, right? From different.
I do. So that's just one craft, but this book, Farm Animals, full of fun, facts, and activities. It's right here. It's by DK Publishing, and inside it gives lots of facts about different farm animals, and it shows cool crafts that you can make that have to do with them as well. So definitely check that book out if you want to do other activities.
I love that. Farm animals, and that's exactly what we're talking about. So as Miss Sylvia said, we're going to sing Old Macdonald Had a Farm. I think you all should know that one. Please make the animal sounds with us when we hold up a certain animal. Are you ready, Miss Sylvia?
I'm ready. Yes.
Okay, here comes the first one. Old Macdonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O, with a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere moo-moo. Old Macdonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
All right. Here comes our next one. Old Macdonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a pig, E-I-E-I-O, with oink, oink here and oink, oink there. Here, oink, there, and oink everywhere. Oink, oink, old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O.
Good job with that, boys and girls. Are you ready for the next animal? Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a horse, E-I-E-I-O. With a neigh-neigh here and a neigh-neigh there. Here a neigh, there a neigh, everywhere an neigh. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
That was awesome. One more. Here comes our last one. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a sheep, E-I-E-I-O. With a baa here and a baa there, here a baa, there a baa, everywhere a baa, baa. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
Beautiful. Good job, boys and girls. That was so much fun. I love that. So much fun.
Yeah. And if you want to have more, talk about more animals that you may find on the farm or read a book that has to do with that song, this is a good one. Pete the Cat, Old MacDonald Had a Farm by James Dean. So you can check that one out.
I love that. And one more too we wanted to mention was called Book. And in this book, there's so many farm animals and they decide to go to the library. Book is by Deborah Bruss. So we wanted to make sure you can check out what happens when farm animals go to the library.
Yes.
Well, are we finished on the farm, Miss Sylvia?
I think so.
I think we've had a fun time today. So please come back and watch us again if you would like to. But for now, all of us on the farm wish you well, and we hope to see you again next time. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.